Before we continue on, I talked about it for the first 4 years because, of course, you can have all the created players in. We bumped up the draft class quality to high. No, we didn't. Oh my god, that's right. It was on low. It was the opposite. That last draft was low quality? In what world was that? I'm afraid to put it on medium. How the hell was that low quality? Well, we're going to put it on medium, but good lord, man. Good lord. I forgot that was on low. Should I keep it on low? Or put it on... you know what, chat? I'm going to let you vote. Let's let the people speak here. Meg, you're fine. Let's let the people speak. Why not? Draft class quality. Will it be keep on low, move to medium, or high? I'll let you guys decide. What are we gonna put it on? That was fucking wild. I can't believe that just happened. That was so weird. What was the first NHL game you started the roster edit? In terms of like moving people around to their right teams if they got traded, it would have been like NHL 04. 04, 05, especially 05, given like the Joe Thornton trade and such. Well, technically 06 would have been out, but I didn't get 06 when it first came out. I was still on 05. In terms of like the super in-depth roster edits and like the overall changes and stuff, probably like NHL 10, NHL 11, around that time. Chat overwhelmingly votes to put the draft class quality on high. Why not? I'm a man of the people. The people love chaos. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's do it. In my head, I'm like, well, let's keep it on low, because then it'll be like hard mode, and we might not get the players that we want. Did you just see that last draft class? This game doesn't know what the hell it's doing. Fuck it. Put it on high. Let's go. Let's rock. Let's rock. This game doesn't know what the hell is going on. So we'll just make the most of it. Silly season's in full effect, baby. Let's rock. Let's rock. So the re-sign phase. Again, our captain, Caden Lindstrom, does need to be re-signed. But we'll start off with goaltenders. Kirsch. Give him the qualifying offer. We are going to immediately sign Hubbard. I don't know if we'll play him in the NHL, but I mean, whatever. You know, it's fine. LFC, what's going on, my man? Versteeg is signed. Tex Williamson can be dropped for now. So those are the 4 goalies that we're allegedly building around. Defensively, we got to sign Park. Roberto Mancini can stick around. Honestly, all these guys can stick around. Kralitis, Kuznetsov. And cliffhanger it before the next draft, right? Lajoie can stick around just because we need people on roster. Let's sign McIver. And Duncan. We'll also sign Sims. It's going to be 3 medium elite players in the entirety of the next draft, just to fuck with us, right? Fuck Madrid. Dude, Real Madrid winning the Champions League again was the most them thing ever. Like I said on Twitter, I didn't even watch the second half. The second Dortmund didn't score in the first half, you're like, oh, this is over. Like, I've seen this script before. And yeah, it ended exactly how I thought it was going to end. So, you can't keep getting away with it, but they will. We're going to keep all these guys, even if their potentials aren't that good to start. So, did I watch any of the Memorial Cup final? No. Like, I've kind of followed, like, a glancery look, but not focused upon just because of the way the schedule, the way the schedule was lined up this year. So Park is signed, Sims, and again, we're going to let those RFAs potentially go to free agency if they want to. You never know. If we get an offer sheet for somebody, we might have to consider it. So we're willing to play the long game. And obviously, too, we're going to have some coaches and some scouts to sign this year. Let's see what we can do. This coach, we took all the way from an A+ to a B. I have just murdered that man's hopes and dreams. We will bring on Adam Shields if we can. Let's give him a max offer here. Might take a while to scroll all the way, but not as long as it used to take. So, to the moon, Adam. To the moon. Goalie coach, because I'm going to move people around. So you'll see the method to my madness in a moment. Is Brent Burns still out there? He is. So is Suter. They're not good. Oh, Hasek. Definitely not Andre Palat. I wouldn't mind bringing in Burns and Suter for the AHL. But also I need to see how good those coaches are going to be. In terms of the scouts, we only have room for one. And we'll just send offers to Eric Burns, Curtis Del Rio, and Bernard Brassois. The free agent class this year, again, we're not allowed to sign major free agents, but the free agent class this year, Lindstrom is technically out there. It's not great. Old Man Sagan, Philip Hedl. There might actually be a good chance that somebody offer sheets Lindstrom. Not that I'm considering letting him walk, but I do have so much coaching and scout salary. Owner mode off. You can sign people to whatever. You can just ignore the number. Big year for goalies, though. Ottinger's out there. Chekhov, Lundmark. Obviously, we are going to need cap whales, but we will wait and see what the cap space situation is going to look like. In terms of RFAs, we do have a couple. Lindstrom, that's 8.5 over 5 years. To be honest, that's not a bad deal for him, and it does get him to the end of his RFA status. Am I willing to let him go for the right offer sheet? Probably not, man. We just named captain. He's got to stay. He's got to stay. And to be honest, I'm only going to knock it down to like $8 million. Like, we don't need to do any big trick or anything. Like, we have $77 million in cap space. Silverthorne, I can't imagine anyone's going to go after you, so let's just sign you to a 3-year deal. Sterner, just bring you right up to the end of your RFA status. And then Zembal, you're terrible, but you can still be an AHLer for us for a little while. Just because, again, we need players to fill out this team. We only have 4 years worth of draft picks. So Shields did sign. That's good. Get another good coach into the system after ruining another one. Zembal signs. Sterner, Silverthorne, Lindstrom is on. All right. So let us double check how many dudes we have signed. I mean, I think, yeah, it's 32. We should be fine. Cap whale in each position, and we should be compliant. So, who's the oldest goalie that sucks? Tex Williamson. Or as the Williamson family knows me as, Jesus. I'm pretty sure they pray to me now, based on the amount of wealth we've handed that family. Trevor Van Riemsdyk. TVR. Let's see if we can even up your career earnings with your brothers. And then at forward, Appelgren, 56 overall. Let's go. Old Johnny Appelgren. Or Niklas. I mean, whatever he prefers, right? Cynical, how are you? Our best season yet, even though it still meant we were the worst in the league. You can imagine what happened in the lottery. So, in terms of setting up the team, it's now not going to take as long as it has been. So, we should be able to get to this new season pretty damn quickly. That is the one good thing about Draft of Glories, is we get to sim through things incredibly quickly in the early stages. So, you know, I have to waste time and be like, oh, I wonder if we're going to win 5 games in a year. Like, you know, pretty much. So, for the goalies this year, we got Kirsch and Russo. Versteeg only went up by 5 last year as a medium elite. Then there's Hubbard. Do we want to try to rush certain players, or do we just go with Kirsch and Russo? I just don't know if we're going to be able to brute force those other 2 medium elites. Let's be patient with goalies now. Let's be patient. That's going to be the call. Both of Hubbard and Versteeg will be in junior this year. Defensively, this will be interesting. We will still try to brute force the development of some of these other younger guys, though. So that guy still sucks in terms of potential. So let's see, a medium 6, a low 4 for McKinnon, low 4 for Richmond. Sims was a low elite, so Sims is definitely going to play in the majors this year. Mancini is out. So we got medium 6, that's about it. Low 4, medium 6, Clint Wood, Zhekimovs. Honestly, the low 4s really don't seem to be developing that well. Let's boot them out. And we still got to drop one guy. And it makes sense for it to be Clint Wood. So a couple of new additions on defense. 3 of them from our most recent draft class. Park, Duncan, and Sims. In terms of the forwards, Bootland as a medium elite needs to be called up. That's not even a conversation to be had. See who else makes it. Left wing side, Hanula's a medium bottom 6. So he'll get the bump over these two. And then for centers, Sawyer and Beach. Beach is going to play. So let's see. That's what? Yeah, 2 players too many. So the medium bottom 6s are going to be in trouble. As the first line is dominant as we hoped. Not quite. They weren't bad, but not quite. I think it's going to be Hanula and Sawyer, just as the lowest overall dudes that get dropped. Makes sense. So we have our 12. All right. So let's see. What the hell are we going to look like? I'm not going to worry about line chemistry at the moment because we're probably going to change up our head coach. Right now, it's just about getting players into the best spot for them. Sterner's going to head to the 4th line. Medium 6s are going to get dropped. So we got 2 high 6s with Morin and Wasselin. So to me, it makes sense to put, Bootland on one line to work with these two, and then, you see what I mean? Like, pair up Morin and Wasselin, pair up Lindstrom and McQueen. And that third line should be pretty good. So, and then for that third line, we'll go Hago, Silverthorne, Letourneau, Beach, Morin, Wasselin. And we'll go McQueen at center because, again, better face-offs than Lindstrom. So I think that's what we're going to be looking like this year. Bit risky, maybe. But we do have a decent little core of forward talent. Defensively, we'll keep Kuznetsov and Gallagher together, but we're going to play Sims with Clark. And then the medium 4 and the medium 6 together. Yeah, Sims is a low elite. We'll try like hell to get him to develop, given how young he is. So, can the Oilers beat the Panthers? Of course they can. Will they? Oh, of course they can. All right, defense is looking okay. Could have Beach on the first line. Well, the thing is, Bootland's only a year older, and he's already 8 overall points better. So, I mean, they're basically the same player. Beach is this year's version of Bootland. Gershon, Rousseau, not bad. AHL, let's make sure that there is nobody scratched that we actually want in the lineup. Applegrim we don't care about. We look good. Cool. Not really worried about where they are within the lineup. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, though. Yeah, TVR. TVR needs to sit. Honestly, some of the forwards, the rando forwards as well, we just need them to sit for Guys like Wood, McKinnon, and not Markov, but let's get Wood in there. And then McKinnon. There we go. Goaltenders, Tex Williamson and Tukaranta. That was just a rando signing, which is good. Sweet. So, what is the best chemistry we can get with this group this year? Wright's been the head coach for a while, but again, he has been actively made worse. It's a 67. Riopel, 67. So right now, Riopel's ahead. Shields. Okay, we're still on Riopel. Okposo. Still on Riopel. R. Cousins. 61. Looks like Riopel's the guy unless Kennedy steals it. All right. Well, we have our head coach then. It is going to be Mr. Riopel. Which pretty much means that we can actually get rid of Leighton. And let's see. Let's have you be the associate coach. It's actually not what I wanted. Drop you down the goalie coach. Let's go. You as the assistant. You as the associate. You can be the AHL head coach. Bump you up. All right, so now we just need. Whoops. We need to not make a dumb mistake. That's what we need. There we go. Now we just need 2 goalie coaches. Let's see. Maciej Krebs. Just give him a crap load of money to hope that he signs. Crap load. Yeah, the influence doesn't really matter. Richard Rosa. Also give you a lot of money. Then we just got to fix up the scouts, and we should be good because we had a couple of new scouts this year. So we need an OHL scout, which can be Burns. Just trying to make sure I don't make any stupid mistakes to the most mind-numbingly boring part of any franchise mode. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Quick and easy. Literally 1 change. Not bad. So let's see what the new lines look like then based on the chemistry. Okay, +3 for the top line, +1 for the third line. The defense isn't great, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about player chemistry when we have a pairing featuring 2 guys under a 70 overall, you know? I'm not too worried about that. But in terms of getting the season going, I as always want to know what our overalls happen to be. Just to see if we've made like any real significant growth. I doubt it, but especially because we keep adding lower overall guys into the team. But let's see what we got here. We'll have to pull that down so we can see the numbers. It is 70. All right, 70 offense, 56 defense, 76 goaltending. Technically, there's improvement. Technically. And also when it comes to players with abilities, again, Caden Lindstrom is now our sole X factor, and Park joins McQueen and Wasselin as having abilities. Give me 1 second. We're a top-tier ECHL team. That's a good way to view it. That's a decent little way to view it. All right. You know what? We haven't done it for a while. For anybody that's not already in the game by default, like Russo and Kirsch, what do we got here? Chris Park. We might have to give him a letter immediately. Chris Park, our franchise defenseman. He went gray at the mere thought of having to move to Trinidad and Tobago. I love how many fucking players just like immediately go gray in this game. Maybe it's just a fashion statement, you know? Maybe it's just a fashion statement. Ridiculous, isn't it? I at least needed to see what he was going to look like. Of course, McQueen and Wasslam were already added in, so I at least had to know for him. It's Byer's requirement. That's true. Joe Byer did have that look. Another season. Let's rock. Let's do it. Let's do it. And actually, we'll get a prediction up this time. Let's go 17.5 because we actually won a fair amount of games last year. We'll go 17.5 wins for this season. You know, we gotta move it up incrementally. It is worth noting too, in terms of trade values. By the way, Lindstrom is our most valuable asset. McQueen, Park, Bootland, and Beach are there. I mean, again, they're like perfect trade bait in a normal franchise where we could actually just trade them away. But and then goalies, Hubbard, Versteeg each have some value, but nothing too crazy. So cool. And yeah, we are good to go salary cap wise too. Barely, but we are good to go. Let's do it. Let's do it. See what this team looks like this year. Of course, again, we're still going to be nowhere near. The rookie, both younger goalies are back in junior. So, we're going to hope they develop a little bit that way. So, Byer was bald. That's right, Byer was bald. Didn't he have he had a gray beard, though, didn't he? Or maybe it was the defenseman from 3. We've had a lot of silver foxes on this team over the years, you know? 2-9, 2-11. Nice 10-0 loss to the New Jersey Devils. You know, about those 17 wins, I hope people took the under because, good Lord, have we struggled out of the gates this season. Horrifically. Finally, hey, back-to-back wins. Maybe not. Maybe not. Look at us. Winning a couple of games this month. And only a couple. Yikes. Yikes. 5 wins as we head into January. 10-1 loss to Seattle, 9-3 to Calgary. We did beat New Jersey, though, who kicked the crap out of us earlier this year. So, improvements there. Well, we're 11 wins away from hitting the over. Make that 10 wins away from hitting the over. We might actually be able to do this. Again, we had, 14 wins last year? We're certainly looking to improve upon that. Even if, we might have gotten some younger guys in the lineup who aren't quite as good. But 10 wins? 11? Maybe, just maybe. Maybe, just maybe. It's getting a little bit interesting down the stretch. Blockbuster trades. Sandlack and Petra to LA for Trevor Moore, Nick Hague, and Alex Pietrangelo. I mean, Sandlack and Petra must be listed as really good. Rasmus Anderson traded for Blair Hudson and Caden Price. Okay. Wow, 3 blockbuster. How the hell is Mikey Anderson for... in fairness, it's a prospect. How the hell is Mikey Anderson involved in a blockbuster trade? Figure that one out. 12 wins. Major loss. 12, 48, and 8. Can we at least hit last year's win total, should I say? 13 wins. 14. Well, we did equal as many wins as we had last year. Technically one more. Oh my god. 16, 56, and 10 is the final. So it was the under this year. 17.5. They fell just short. 16, 56. But how about that? 10 overtime or shootout losses. We proved to be a little bit difficult to put away this year. Now, I do have a concern based on our point totals. We'll talk about that in a second. As the Edmonton Oilers have won the President's Trophy. Toronto very much looking alive for that three-peat. We were the worst team in the league at just 42 points. You had Washington at 56. Yeah, worst team in the league. We did score over 200 goals, though. 252. With a 4.85 collective GAA, which, not great. 11% on the power play. Almost not the worst. Because of Dallas. Okay. And we didn't even have the worst PK in the league. The obvious concern for points. Okay, so Lindstrom was tied with McQueen. That's not too bad, then. Those two are proving to be a somewhat dynamic duo. If we can get the true winger for them, which might be Wasselin, we might have to give up on our idea of trying to get those medium elites to develop. So, Yeah, we might have to abandon the whole trying to get those low medium elites to develop here. We might have to. We don't want to sacrifice the guys that we already have. Defensively, Chris Park, 38 points as a rookie. Not bad at all. But see, Jeff Sims went up like, what, 12, 13 points this year? At least for low elites, that's still a very effective method. In terms of the medium elites, tough to say. Kirsch and Russo obviously both struggled immensely. Russo more so than Kirsch. In terms of the league-wide numbers, holy shit. Well, the top scoring forward was Nathan McKinnon with 62 goals and 120 points. You had McDavid, Rantanen, Pajärvi, Draisaitl, Kaprizov, and Hyman all break 100. The top goal scorer was 70 was Pajärvi. 60 club, you had McKinnon and Matthews, and 50s, you had Rantanen and McDavid. Pasternak had an off year, so did Connor Bedard. However, the leading scorer in the league with 39 goals and 102 assists, Cale Makar. Bouchard also broke 100 points easily. Good lord. Freaking Pavel Minchikov was up there too. Jesus. Alex Nikishin? What the hell? 3 defensemen had at least 30 goals. It's nuts, man. In terms of goaltenders, the winningest, Eustace. Took him less games to do it compared to Joey Decord. Shutout leader with 6 was Devin Levi. And your save percentage king amongst starters with a 911, Sebastian Casa. Goalie save percentages have fallen off of a cliff. A cliff in this reality. For the rookies, Anton Frondel. It's going to be back-to-back Calder winners for Calgary. It Gavin McKenna up there, also on Calgary. Hagens, Fedorov. Yeah. And then the number 1 overall pick that we did not get, Emil Mebus. Went up 5 points this year to an 86. He would have been the perfect left wing for that top line. He would have been perfect. Absolutely perfect. And yeah, shout out to Jack Drury, who put up 96 points with 77 assists. Damn. So, we'll obviously, again, see how the playoffs pan out. We are very much not involved. The biggest thing for us will be player development and hopefully some overall increases. And we'll see if the Toronto Maple Leafs can make it 3 in a row. Again, we've seen 2 Carolina wins and 2 Toronto wins. I don't want to do it to myself because every time I look ahead of time, we always see a good player that we don't get. It's a 2-way this time. There is a medium elite DFD, Rudolph Hirsch. That is our primary target. There is also Russell Oda. What do you want to win the cup? I don't care either way. Not rooting for or against either side. Victor DeLuca might also be a DFD. Victor Petrie, Devin Burkholz. Okay, so we do have some options. There is a franchise player, but we're not going to be getting said franchise this year. The Colorado Avalanche have won the Stanley Cup. the first Western Conference team to win it in the 5 years that we've done. This is on high compared to low of last year. Yeah, right? We knew that's how it would go, though, right? We did call it. Oh, baby. Caden Lindstrom up to a 90. Roger McQueen. Did McQueen lose an ability? He went up to a 90, but now he's only showing up as skilled up. I could have sworn he had another ability. That's bizarre. Or maybe he didn't have any abilities? I could have sworn he had... Didn't he have, like, he had no abilities? He lost all but one. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I could have sworn, and actually I was wrong. Lindstrom didn't hit a 90. I was looking at games played. He hit an 89. I could have sworn McQueen lost abilities. I don't know. Park, though, does go up to an 87. So that was a +7 for Park this year, and it was like all natural growth, too. Obviously, a DFD really won't get statistical. He also developed Silver Truck, did Park. Or no, he had Truck. He developed Ice Pack. Kirsch up to an 83. Not bad. Not bad at all. Silverthorn up to an 83. 82 for Morin. 82 for Wassel, and still no gold. Why do you like DFTs so much? Because I have to? It's the part of the challenge. I have to. Dean Letourneau. Did he? He went up to 6'7", didn't he? He was only 6'6". Hagos not bad. Russo not bad. Other way around, he didn't have Truck. Well, there you go. I was right the first time. Speaking of abilities, how do you feel about abilities in CFP 25? As long as they're implemented wisely, I'm fine with it. I'm not really bothered by X Factor systems that much, to be honest. It is what it is. Let's see. Any other crazy development? Gallagher, not really. Gallagher and Kuznetsov, the previous low elites we were focusing on, they've kind of capped out. Damn. Bootland, though, up to a 67. Okay, he seemed to benefit well. Hubbard went up a couple of points. Sims went up by 15 this year. Putting him on our top D pair was the right call. Beach is up to a 66. We definitely did get some good player development this year. Like, the team is starting to take shape. Versteeg went up more in the AHL than he did playing in the NHL last year, or actually about the same. So, not bad. Let's take a look at the award winners, and obviously we'll see who the Avs happen to beat. We'll see if they denied that Leafs three-peat. They did not. They beat Carolina, who nearly got back to the top of the mountain. It was Ottawa that knocked off Toronto. Twitter is ablaze. Obviously, we know Colorado is absolutely stacked. I'm sure Makar won the Conn Smythe. McKinnon, Nichushkin, I mean, yeah. Hey, Tyson Barrie went back. Good for Tyson Barrie. Good for Tyson Barrie. And Kylie Yamamoto, apparently. Your award winners. Again, 2 for Carolina, 2 for Toronto, now 1 for Colorado. Cale Makar wins the Art Ross for the second time in 3 years. He wins the Hart Trophy for the first time. At least in this rate, timeline, the 5 years. The Norris for the 4th time in 5 years. The Lady Bing for the 3rd time in 5 years. Calder goes to Frondell. Conn Smythe to Cale Makar. Casa wins the Vezina. Hilarious. The Jennings to Alnefelt. Park wins the Masterton. Parent wins the Jack Adam, Minnesota's head coach. Selke to Matty Beniers. Ted Lindsay Award to Cale Makar. And the Rocket Richard to Payarvi in San Jose. 2nd time in 3 seasons. In the AHL, Patrick Kane was the leading scorer for Bakersfield. He was also league MVP. Top goal scorer was Adam Beckman. Top rookie, I believe it's Philip Ekberg. Top defenseman, John Carlson. Best goaltender, Nick Malik. And Vitaly Kravtsov, I believe, is a creative version of him, was the MVP of the playoffs. Is Makar a 99? That's a good question. That is a good question. 95. But 99 in all offensive categories. So, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, no pressure on us for the draft lottery this season. And we lost it again anyway. The second straight year, we'll be picking third overall. LA and Calgary managed to jump us. Son of a bitch. In terms of retired players, Ovi's gone with 988 goals. You got Malkin, Stamkos, Kane, and yeah, this is a big retirement year. Old Joe Pavelski. Jordan Eberle's gone. Defensively, Jared Spurgeon. Oliver Ekman. Oliver Dawson. Obi on Boston. How does that make you feel? Yeah. I wouldn't be overly excited about it. And goalie-wise, Bobrovsky. Jack Campbell. What a guy. What a guy. Head coach Alexander Ovechkin. Might happen. Head coach Anze Kopitar. Might happen. We'll have to see how good those guys are. Does Ovechkin break the record? We'll put it this way. As a lot of athletes get older, they look for enhanced supplements. And you notice how the NHL has never, coincidentally in the NHL, there's never really been like a star player to fail a test. Yeah, I think Ovi's going to find a way to hang around long enough to beat the record. And I think the NHL would appreciate it if he did. Just throwing that little conspiracy out there. But, you know. All right, so first overall, the LA Kings select the franchise two-way. And Calgary takes the sniper Karpatsev. So who is available to us third overall? The goaltender, Rudolph Hirsch, is still there. I'm going to take a look at every player, though, just to make sure. So no goalies projected until round 2. Defensively, we have Hirsch, Devin Burkholz, Edgar Petrie, Bryson Huxley, Peyton McClement. A lot of DFDs this year. Obviously, most of them won't be worth it. Barnes, is 4 years out. Hars is 3 years out. Petrov, 2 years out. McClement. Sometimes the better players can fall out of the top 5. That is not the case this year. 2 years out for Petrie. Burkholz is NHL ready, but is Hirsch as well. Yeah. So if we take a defenseman, it's Hirsch. And again, there wasn't a goalie available. So any forwards that are eligible, we have Oda, Ariel McDermott, Petri Hautanen. Oh boy. Well, we know who we're taking. So Petri Hautanen, 3 years out. McDermott's 3 years out. And then the top guy was Russell Oda. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. Third overall, we'll take a defenseman again. This time it's the German Rudolf Hirsch. 78 overall, medium elite. With truculence, bouncer, and ice pack. Not bad. But obviously for a DFD, that's kind of what you want. He is a good skater. He's physical. Perfect. He'll work out really well on our top pair next season. Round number 2. Should get a bit more interesting. We have Sam Barnes, but he's not interesting. Let's take a look. Actually, you know what we'll do? Let's go to goalies. Let's see who's out there that might be half decent. We'll leave it at that. Defensive. OFD. And a medium elite, but he's a two-way. So we got Andrew Gove. And that guy is 6'4", though. That guy is 6'4". Fox, what's up, man? We might have to risk it on that 6'4" dude. We might have to. The OFD is probably an OFD because he was short. This guy might be a DFD. Gaspard Denis. Cutler. I swear, the shortest you see a DFD is 6'1". Potential low. Oh my god, it is an outright low elite enforcer. Not projected until the 7th round. Spencer Peterson, you will be a goonfish. Rest assured, you will be a fish. There's also 6'5" Kari Siebonen. But he is a confirmed two-way. Fuck. That sucks. Ted Finley might be eligible. Alexander Kuleshov. This could be the year that we risk it big on unconfirmed player types. This might be the year to make things happen and really risk it. We don't normally like to. I am going to have to call a timeout after we're done looking at defensemen. Yeah, we have a lot of research to do here. A lot. So our first time out there, because we're still going to have to look at forwards. Actually, I'm going to work on an offensive game at all. So right wing. That dude's 6'2", Bannister. That's good balance, you never know. Pretty much anybody that might be eligible, I'm going to have to take a look at. That guy's a guaranteed playmaker. This guy's a grinder. Firm grinder. Two-way. Got a medium 9 grinder, Henrik Persson. Look at Mikhail Ottoson, who could be half decent. We'll leave it at that. Who's on the left wing side? Confirmed playmaker, Jackson Pekka. But there's Pascal Lacerte. He's a bit of a risk. Jesper Markstrom. Confirmed power forward, nearly confirmed low elite. That is promising. Another playmaker, a two-way. Not much else going on. We'll have to check out Tubert. See if he works. Eddie's a bit too short. Guy's likely a two-way. Medium 9 power forward. Playmaker, he's not tall enough. 6'2", Reese Camilleri. Also, Stefan Mesanueve. Ty Kavanaugh. These guys are 6'2". I got to check their more in-depth scouting reports just to double-check player types. And then centers. Potential grinder, Cademan. We got a Cademan alert. Kapitanov. Persinger's huge. 6'4". Unfortunately, Gustavo Fratton's a playmaker. Unfortunately, Aguasin is a two-way. Well, not totally confirmed, but quickness, character. Yeah, that's not going to be what we need him to be. 6'2", Oscar Janssen. Goal scoring, balance. Unlikely that he's what we need. Got Aiden McPherson. Malik Irons could be decent. Sniper playmaker, a power forward, and Kovalev. Quite a few medium 9 power forward centers as a grinder. It's probably a low 9. Right, not much going on at center, but we will call another timeout. Now it's time to try and sift through to see if we can make more educated guesses on who might actually be the eligible player types. So for these guys here, Ted Finley, 6'5", 3 out of 4 DFD, guaranteed enforcer. This guy here, 6'4", Stuart Mullen. Hard wrist shot, physical play, passing ability. That sounds like a two-way to me. Like physical, you'd say, well, maybe. But the passing ability, he sounds well-rounded, like a two-way. So I don't think he's going to be worth the risk. Ruben Cyphers, 3 out of 4 DFD, 3 out of 4. Cade Gardner's the big one. 6'4", 3 out of 4 two-way. Character, work ethic, compete level. He might be worth the risk. What's best covered in chocolate? Banana, strawberries, peanuts, or popcorn? Strawberries. Perfect mix of the sweetness. Juha Ranta could be the enforcer that we need. This guy was showing up as a potential OFD. Mobility, offensive instincts, defensive zone play. Yeah, he's definitely not going to be what we need. Dwyer is a DFD. Denis. Kuleshov is a two-way. Mobility, balance, foot speed. Certainly doesn't sound like a DFD. And then Gove is there. Okay, so we trimmed down the defensive list a little bit. Let's go through another run here. Just to make sure, although for the... You know what? Actually, we can leave it at that for now. Right wing side. 2 out of 4 grinder for McIntyre. This playmaker here, George Bannister. 6'2". Offensive instincts, balance, defensive. He could be. Zetterberg comparison, though, that's going to rule him out. Left wing side. The sniper, Ville Suhonen. Shot utilization. It's not sounding like a power forward to me. Reese Camilleri. Zone play, shot utilization, work ethic. Maybe? Maybe. It's a bit risky. Tursunbayev. Also a maybe. You know, a lot of these guys, though, it's going to be a question as to whether or not they're even worth the risk compared to somebody else that's there. And then what about Andrew Culp? Goal score. Yeah, okay, we'll roll him out. And then for the centers. Oscar Janssen. Goal scoring, offensive instincts, balance. That's high risk, high reward. He's probably a two-way, though. Persinger. Defensive zone play, shot utilization, character. Also unlikely. So I don't think we'll be risking it for too many people. In terms of those super high-end potentials, Gardner, we should be able to take in the next round, right? Because our next pick is 66, and then after that is 98. So we can take him with the 98th. We don't have to take Gardner here. Who is next up? In consideration. So Calle Rodin as a goalie. Obviously, the info there isn't the best 3 years out. He's probably going to be a strong goalie, but we really don't need a goaltender. Only if there's just nobody else. Medium 9 power forward, Ariel Ramirez. That's not bad, but we're obviously looking to aim higher than that. So, unless we go off the board, it's that goalie, which we could go off the board. There's also Vesatarki, who's nowhere near the goalie of the other guy. Other than that, it would be Ted Finley. And honestly, Ted Finley looks like he could be the best of the bunch. Because after that, there's also Helms. There's Johansson. Yeah, now's the time to go off the board early. We got 4 minutes still. So if we were to take Finley here, potentially 2 years out. Helms is a confirmed 3 years out. Johansson, we'd probably aim higher. How 3 years out. There's Lacerte, 4 years out. Persson will aim higher. Ruben Cyphers. It's not really a clear-cut path forward, unfortunately. Finley, the 2 out of 4 low elite. Helms, the 2 out of 4 medium elite. I mean, now, like I said, is the time to start taking chances. Yeah, now's the time. So we are going to risk it on left defenseman Ted Finley from Moncton. He is a low 4. It's not surprising. But everyone was in a pretty similar spot. Elite Fratton wasn't available. Playfair was a medium 4, but he wasn't even on our radar. Our scouts just got it wrong. Rodin wasn't even that good. Obviously not too happy with who we ended up with, but we have to take those home run shots here. And it's not like we missed out on anybody anyway. So round number 3. We're not too worried about Tarky. So we got Helms. And actually, I'm just going to rule out Tarky. We know we're not going to take him. We're not going to take Johansson either. So it's either Helms, Howe, Lacerte, or Cyphers. Yeah, Helms, Howe, Lacerte, or Cyphers. Cyphers. 5 years out at 18. Wasn't this where you wanted Gardner? Yes, but in theory, I want to at least double check on everybody here. Lacerte is 4 years out as a left wing. Howe, with that A physical, 3 years out, but he's 20. Might still be worth it. And then Helms is 3 years out at 18. It's got to be Helms. I think it's got to be Helms right now. Unless there's somebody in the next round that makes it worth doubling up on when those guys are projected to go. Which would be Andrew Gove, 2 years out at 19. But we could get him in the next round. Gaspard Denis is 5 years out. And then there's Gardner. Okay. We're not too worried about Brendan Cox. Gardner does have to be in the next round. So, again, Denis is 5 years out. Gove is only 2 years out. I think it's going to be Gove. Again, skip a bit of a run because you had Helms at 3 years out. Go for the guy that's 2 years out instead, although he's 3 years out at 18. Gove is 2 years out at 19. Same thing, really. Okay, I know where I want to go with this. We are, in fact, going to go for Helms. I want to get another forward into the mix. Medium 9's not bad. 63 overall was worth the shot. And now we know who we're taking in the next round. Let's see. Tarky was a medium elite goalie, but again, we don't care. Dominguez, Kapitanov, we weren't eligible to get. Is there a potential that's making me regret my decision? Bissonnette was a playmaker. Medium elite Hextall wasn't eligible. We did fine. Yeah, there wasn't a home run to be had there. But there is a home run to be had now. The obvious pick, confirmed medium elite Gardner. If we have confidence that you are not a two-way and are instead a DFD. Otherwise, it's Gove, who's more of a sure thing. And that's the thing. I think we might have to risk it on not taking Gardner. Seeing Draper. I genuinely believe he's probably a two-way. 3 out of 4 confirmed is that's scary. So that's the thing. Do we take the sure thing or do we risk it? Because if Andrew Gove ends up being good, you got to figure this guy's 19 and only 2 years out. That's just too good. If this guy wasn't here, I'd risk it. But Andrew Gove's going to be the pick. We're going for the sure thing. Only a medium top 6, but he is a 66 overall. Did we make the right choice in playing it safe? Did we? We did. Medium elite, two-way defenseman, Cade Gardner. We made the right choice. Even if the guy that we got isn't amazing, we made the right choice. Next up, the Camilleri. He's not worth the risk. Rainier Stutzel. We got a Stutzel, baby. And he's a hell of a player. Aside from him, there's Ruben McIntyre. Very unconfirmed. Shrug it off. There's also Aiden McPherson. Carson Peros is a goalie. There's some good players in this round, but again, I think we got to go for more of the sure thing. Grinder was a 7th round projection, yes. So we're going to go for Rainier Stutzel. He won't be the first German on the team. Let's see if he can be the best, though. Rainier Stutzel is the pick. 49 overall, medium top 6. It'll take him a little bit to develop. Before we head to round 6, though, did we make a massive mistake? There's always the chance. Jackman, I'm fine with Stutzel. I don't even think we had Jackman on our short list. Maison Nueve wouldn't have been bad. He wouldn't have been bad. He would have been a little bit better, but yeah, for the most part, we did fine. Round number 6. There was a top 6 enforcer that went to the Panthers. A defenseman or... Oh, yeah, wow, you're right. I thought that was a defenseman. This guy, was he even... Yeah, Ruben McIntyre was on our list, 19 years old. Oh, good on him. Would have been nice to get that guy. We technically got a better player, though. So, it would have been nice. So, next up, Kolesnik, who's okay. Justice Lewis. Actually, Justice Lewis is looking pretty good. Lewis is getting the win for the moment. Then there's Kavanaugh. Elliot Cutler. Who's even left on the board? Quite a few players, actually. Well, we only have 2 picks left. Based on where they're projected to go, Lewis is 4 years out at 17. Cutler's 5 years out at 18. So we'd probably go for Lewis. How good is Brendan Stokes? 5 years out? Gail Dwyer, 5 years out. Jesper Markstrom, 5 years out at 18, but really good chance of being a low elite. Juha Rantas, 5 years out at 19. Malik Irons, unconfirmed, 5 years out at 19. Aim higher than Ottoson and Tursunbayev. Peterson goes 7th round. So, 6th round, it is down to Irons, Markstrom, or Lewis. And we'll eliminate the goalie. Like, he looks good, but again, we don't need another goalie. We might as well try to get that forward help. And it makes sense for it to be Jesper Markstrom. 50 overall, low elite. At 18 years old, Jesper Markstrom, that's a great pick. That is exactly the type of late round pick that we need. And our final pick, we've been waiting for him all draft. The low elite enforcer, Spencer Peterson of the Brandon Wheat Kings. We're getting our enforcer after all. 58 overall, though. Hello. I was expecting him to be like a 32, which isn't even possible. But Spencer Peterson, welcome in. 2 low elite players in the final 2 rounds. Another pretty damn good draft for us, if we're being honest. Couple of, meh picks in the middle. But for the most part, I don't think we can be upset about that at all. Our head coach's contract. So that is okay. Henry, my man. Good to see you. You were streaming very late. Very late indeed. God, this team's starting to look okay, man. We're starting to look okay.